Hello there! From behind the O-line, this is Trammin, episode 197. My name is Kirk, and today, it's just me. So with that, our Big Thunder topic of the week is 2023 and me.
Hello everyone, welcome aboard Trammin, a Disneyland podcast. Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding. As a courtesy to other passengers, we ask that there be no eating, drinking, or smoking on board. In just a few moments, we will begin our trip into the Disneyland Resort news and topic of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, this tram is ready to depart. Driver, you are clear.
Welcome back to Trammin, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm today's host, Kirk. So let's keep it simple and clean with mousekeeping. If this is your first time here, welcome aboard Trammin, a Disneyland podcast where Rain and I talk about the Disneyland Resort through and only through our eyes. Listen to full episodes every Wednesday or topic-only uploads on Big Thunder Thursdays. If you enjoy the show, like, subscribe, comment, and review us wherever you can, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, Rain's favorite, YouTubes. For a visual guide of the show, follow at Trammin Podcast on Instagram. And to write into the show, head to trammin.com/ask. While you're on trammin.com, catch up on lore, check out our recommendations, or download some artwork for your personal use only. If you use Discord and would like access to our server, let us know. And you can find all these links and lore on trammin.com. Yes, you can. So, let's get into some news. I've got some headlines for you guys. Loud and proud. So, the Disney Adults Dance Party returns at the Circle in Huntington Beach on Friday, January 19th, featuring EDM sets from the Disneylanders and DJ Melissa Brooks upstairs, and a sing-along stage featuring DJ Dreamfinder downstairs. Tickets are available at bit.ly, which is bit.ly/Disney Dance. That is DIZNEYDANCE. I was going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that's not part of the URL. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that's the URL. I'm going to type that in live just to make sure that is correct. Yes, it is. So tickets range from $15 to $25. There are discounts available with your old AP, Magic Key, or even a Disney tattoo shown at the door. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, this is our friend, the Disneylanders, putting on a second event. Rain and I went to the first one. We had a great time. We were going to have Disneylanders on again. We had them on a long time ago in 2020, if you want to check that episode out about park music. We're going to talk all about the show. Time just ran out. We'll have them on soon. But we had a great time. There's a little something for everybody. It's EDM, dance, club type stuff, but in a wholesome way with great visuals and all that. So he's going to focus on that upstairs for the people who are more into that. And then new act, new to this circle, DJ Dreamfinder, friend of Matthew Serrano, is going to be downstairs doing a sing-along and probably some other cool stuff. He's done some Disney mixes in the past. So yeah, Rain and I will be there. It is in Huntington Beach, new venue, The Circle. And look, we had a lot of fun. So you can come out with us there, see the Disneylanders perform live. He's really great, puts on a good show. And, hang out with your people. We're kind of we're weird around here, right? Some Disney adults. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I do recommend it. Don't be ashamed. Dress up, do what you got to do, and come down. Next headline, a mix of magic. Magic Happens returns February 2nd in 2024. Mickey's Mix Magic will now run from January 8th, that's after the holidays, to March 21st. Wondrous Journeys has a special presentation March 22nd to April 14th. And then Mickey's Mix Magic runs once again April 15th to 25th. Now, I do not know why they're not doing Wondrous Journeys the whole time, but I think they're basically telling you when the off season is and when spring break is. But what they are telling us with this April 25th end date for Mickey's Mixed Magic is that there will be the Pixar Friends fireworks show thing that they did during the original Pixar Fest. And Pixar Fest is coming back. So look forward to that, I guess. I'm not sure if I will look forward to that. And final headline, Galactic Grub. New items are available for breakfast at Galactic Grill. There is the chocolate cinnamon Comet cold brew and chicken tenders and funnel cake fries. Probably trying to do a chicken and waffles deal, but not quite. But maybe go check those out. I feel like Reyes will check those out because I don't know. He just does. He's got the scoop. But yeah, that's all we got for the news. End of the year. What did you expect? So it's time for You're Right, in which members of the Tram fam write in with corrections and comments just like you can at trammin.com/ask. I will cue up that corrections music. Roger S. writes in. I believe that is Christine's uncle. So hello, Roger. Hello, Kirk and Rain. Continue to enjoy the podcast. Great job. Back in the 1960s and 70s, our family would go every single Christmas day. The park was fairly empty until after lunch. Love the park, dressed up for the holidays, and really love the Christmas parade. Also, my biggest naughty list is folks on motorized scooters who barrel through crowds at unsafe speeds. Yes, it is very naughty. Thank you, Roger S., for writing in and for listening all this time. Anna K. writes in. She's all jazzed up and says Jazzercise is on the Grinch's schedule, not Pilates, like we said. Jazzercise people are very proud of this, and they reference it every year. I mean this with no disrespect to Jazzercise. It's great. I think that makes it 10 times funnier too. That's great that the Grinch does Jazzercise. So Anna, thank you for writing in, and thank you for listening. Of course. Don't forget, you guys, you can write in all next year. This here's our Big Thunder topic of the week. "23 and Me." So this was the original title anyway. It's a 23 and Me joke, but we always do our recap episode, and it's not a clip show, but it's a recap of all the news that we got throughout the year. And I basically go through all the Google Docs and see what we wrote down. So there might be some things that we never wrote down, and it was a big news item and we missed it. But we do go down those just to see what kind of year did we have, and kind of talk about the year we did have at the end of the episode. So there will be a message from Rain, a write-in from Rain. It's not a message, there's no news. Trammin is still Kirk and Rain. He'll be back. But he did write in a message for his thoughts on the end of the year. And we will put that at the end of the topic, because that's when I'll do my thing. So let us begin in January, just like the year begins. We got the announcement, Adventureland Treehouse, inspired by the Swiss Family Robinson, opens February 11th. I don't know where we got that information. It definitely did not open on February 11th. Not sure where it came from, but we were excited about it existing. I don't know if they announced that prior to this January, but we got details throughout the year. We were pretty hyped. New Adventureland lore and all that. So that was cool. It is open now, and we're glad it's here. Sorry, Tarzan, but it is what it is. We then got news about the La Brea Bakery closure of all of their locations in the world, which was only 2 left. But some people, it hurt more people than it hurt some people more than it hurt others. We were all kind of whatever. And we were especially happy because it marked the return of Earl of Sandwich in a temporary location at the La Brea Bakery at the end of downtown Disney. So that's been going strong. We haven't been many times, but I've definitely had, I'm going to say, at least 3 sandwiches from Erla Sandwich this year, which is probably what I used to do anyway. So glad that's there. Glad Erla Sandwich is like, it's a downtown Disney institution. So we're good there. But yeah, it's still kicking until Porto's takes its place and then they move it and all that, but it'll be there. We did get the news that French Market will be transformed into Tiana's Palace, and they did turn that around in the same year. And we were super excited about this, especially because we were right. But it was exactly what New Orleans Square needed. And I've heard wonderful things about this place, but I still have not eaten there. Even the time I got a beignet, it was from the Mint Julep Bar, which is still called that. But Rain loved everything except the shrimp and grits. But then other people love the shrimp and grits. Rain's not really a shrimp and grits guy. Guess my limit on that is 2 for saying that. But he loved it. Didn't like the beignet, but I'm just still excited to get it. We need fewer foodie guides so I can try regular foods. I did ask for a number, and we'll say it now. Christian with a K wrote into my request. We hit 26 foodie guides, whether we liked it or not. It was the year of foodie guides. Way too many. Some of them were like not even real. It was just like, here are items that already exist that you would like. And some of them were like, we just removed them from the foodie guide and put them in a separate one, or like gingerbread houses. But if it said foodie guide 2 and there was a Disneyland Resort item, it counted. So thank you, Christian with a K, for the count. He held that count all year. We didn't believe him that there were so many and that we were at the number we were at those times. But here we are. Let me just respond to him. We did not get a New Year's foodie guide. Yeah. Okay. We did get the casting call for Hiro Hamada at San Francisco, which was opening soon at the time. And that just seemed like big news to us. I don't know why, but I think it was cool that we all kind of heard like the casting call for Hiro. It's like, do you want to wear shorts to work with a hoodie? Apply within. Disney 100 was a thing for a second. We got a foodie guide for that. We got the fountains at the castle. And we got Wondrous Journeys, which was amazing for this year. But that's kind of it, right? Like there was some food. It was some decor, maybe some statues with incorrect quotes. That was like a fun part of the year. But Disney 100, we said it here. It was like the birthday of a corporation. So we're kind of like, it was fine. There were the banners along the tram route. My favorite banner personally was 2019 Toontown Brawl. And the Matterhorn stuck out to me too. I don't know why, but those are my 2 faves. But yeah, Disney 100, I don't want to say it fell flat because I don't think they were really trying to make it a thing. I mean, I think it really did well with the merch. People love the merch. I think I only ended up with 1 piece of Disney 100 merch, and I actually got Kimmy the partner statue Loungefly, which is like secretly on sale, by the way. Like it's lower than the marked price, which is weird, or there was some deal that I was just missing. But anyways, yeah, Disney 100 merch was where it was at for some people. I get it, but I did not personally get anything. But yeah, the last thing we got in January was that Magic Keys sold out. I think they did pop up at some other time and we just stopped reporting because it was just on and off all year. But Magic Keys completely sold out in January. In February, the opening of Toontown got delayed 1 or 2 weeks because of all that rain we got at the beginning of the year. Now, we love rain on this show, but there was a bit much rainfall at the beginning of the year. So things were sinking and delaying the project, and we saw the outcome of that later on in the year as things opened and closed in Toontown. But yeah, it wasn't a big deal. Mickey and Minnie's was open early, which I don't know why I didn't put that in here, but we had the ride. We were like, okay, we can wait a little bit longer. That's fine. Moon Girl arrived. I think Rain was the only person excited about that. the Moon Girl and Devil Dragon or something. She's already gone. So there was that. We did get the first news of an Avatar experience coming to the parks, and we did an entire episode with friend Jeff on this show. The potential of Pandora. Still don't know what that's going to be. They've now denied it, kind of, even though we went in depth on how they're like, no, this is going to be like on the level of Pandora. But yeah, that's when all those rumors and stuff started. We did get a Kang meet and greet, which was a major deal at the time. No, it wasn't. No one cared about Kang at the time because of Ant-Man. He's already gone. Kang is probably gone himself, or we're going to get some variant. I vote Cuba Gooding Jr., just saying, unless, no, I'm just going to leave that there. But yeah, if you met Kang, let me know. I'll put that in the posts. We got the announcement of Throwback Night, which was like a 50s and 60s themed night. We thought it was coming back. It did not, so I don't know how well it did. We were not necessarily excited about that because we were not alive at that time. So you can't be nostalgic for a place you've never been, despite what people used to say on Tumblr. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway already went to standby from virtual queue in February, so like less than a month. I think people were just not as hyped about it as they thought they were going to be. I think it was just bad messaging. People didn't know it was open because people still love the ride. The wait time climbs, but maybe like, the kids go home and adults forget, or, I think people just did not hear there's a new Mickey ride the way they heard there's a new Star Wars ride, because they still talk about the new Star Wars ride. And then we got the announcement, another Trammin was right, Rogers the Musical. It was announced for a limited summer run. We were totally right about that. And did they announce it's coming back? I don't remember if they announced it's coming back, but people were pretty hyped about it. Some people were like, it's not going to be good. Turned out being good. But yeah, that was announced back in February. Sadly, Hercules was not. So now, into March, E.P. Ripley returned to the Disneyland Railroad. It's one of the, there's multiple trains, they're numbered, but this was being refurbished for a long time. Not that we thought anything was going to happen to the Disneyland Railroad, but it's nice to know it's like, hey, we spent time and money to restore a train car. It's an integral part of the Disneyland experience. What is not an integral part of the Disneyland experience was Princess Night, because I think that flopped. Because I think there was one night, didn't do so well. They had tickets late into the sale, and I know adults like princesses, but Princess Night is like for little ones, and they're not awake at night. So I guess they just moved on from that. Just like we quickly moved on from Cassie Lang at Adventures Campus. Nothing against anyone, but I didn't watch Ant-Man, and I don't think I know anyone who watched Ant-Man Quantumania. So just like Kang came and went at Avengers Campus, and no one cared. But people really cared when Toontown opened in March, and we got Pete. Yes, Pete became a meet and greet in Toontown, a Pete and greet, as Scott Gustin said. All of this stuff is probably from Scott Gustin, but yeah, Toontown opened. Kids loved it. There's the water table and all the Goofy's backyard. All the houses are reopened, all the meet and greets. But yeah, Pete was like fan favorite. Got a little too influencer-y at the time, but that was pretty cool to see that kind of character there. And of course, he's featured on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. One of my favorite parts of that ride. But yeah, cool to see him. But probably the smallest, the biggest news is that in March, Space Mountain began testing Single Rider. And they tested it. It went away. It came back. They moved it. I think it is here. The line is pretty long now, but they were testing it upstairs kind of for a while, like halfway through the queue. And we were just hyped because it was gone for so long. And we were like, we We just want to ride this ride without waiting 75 minutes. And finally, in March, they began the construction on the Avengers Vault. It was rumored to be the Avengers Vault, but Disney didn't actually announce that until later. And we'll get to when that reopened later on. In April, we had a lot of Florida drama. That was a lot of fun talking about this year. Dunking on Florida, dunking on Florida's government, dunking on Florida's people. Sorry, but Florida man is Florida man. And Disney just wiped the floor with Florida, if you get what I'm saying. And they opened Tron, Light Cycle Run, which neither one of us has gone on yet. I've still never been to Walt Disney World, but Rain hasn't been back since it opened, I guess. Right? Huh. But he'll go on soon, I'm sure, and he'll let us know. We did get the mobile order update in the app where now you can sort it by what's available now. You can kind of just, all the parks are on one screen. I think it is mostly improved. It's not much better than it was before, but hey, at least they're doing something, They're taking a little too long to do something with Star Tours, which in April got the new scene announcement for 2024, and I believe they announced even more the previous year. But in April, they're coming in 2024. We're like, cool. So you haven't made new videos yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Don't you worry. Ahsoka will be there. Pride Night was announced in April, and that was a proud moment, we called it. And people really liked it this year, and it's coming back next year with, I believe, even more nights. So that is always cool. We're still holding out for them to release the Pride gray stuff that we affectionately call the gay stuff. So Disney, come on, get on that. We'll make the sticker. Let's make it happen. Wonderground and Disney Home were closed for a little while, and they reopened with shorter ceilings. And that was to make way for Paseo, the new restaurant located above that building. That is still not open. I don't know what's going on there, but I've noticed Disney is so slow with construction, and I get it when it's new rides and lands and whatever, but these are restaurants in places that there were already restaurants, and maybe they're redoing the kitchen so they can run out food to Centrico a little better. The bar that's also not open, that's replacing Uva Bar. I just don't know what's going on with them though. It's taking so long. We got nothing, but at least Wonderground and Disney Home did not go away. We did also get lots of Splash Mountain, Tiana's Bayou Adventure updates. It's getting animatronics, new effects, new lighting, all that kind of stuff, new original music. And there was actually a first look that you can go check out. I think it's probably Walt Disney World's, but you can go look that up online. They have some videos and stuff, not leaks, just announcements. So that's cool. It's supposedly still coming December 2024. So get excited, everyone. I am excited to see that for sure. Matterhorn closed for a month again. It just keeps happening. Apparently, it's not long for this world. I hope they figure it out, but apparently it's sinking. So it just keeps getting refurbed, which, it's rough when that closes and the lines get long. And the lines were just so long this year. Everything closes, everything breaks down, the lines get longer and longer, and there's more people in the pathways. And I don't know what they're going to do about that. I don't know if they even see it as a problem, but I hope they do because Disney's getting busy. Let's see if there's an off season. The biggest news in April. Fantasmic burned down. Murphy, as they call Maleficent's animatronic, got set on fire by accident when the hydraulic fluid got made contact with her flames. And then she just sat there and burned while they evacuated New Orleans Square. And then Fantasmic has not returned, but eventually a return date was announced. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, that was pretty rough. That was huge news. Maybe the biggest news of the year. But it'll be back better than ever? Not quite, but we do get an improvement. And the hint is in this next item. In May, Peter Pan, Alice, and Mr. Toad all closed. Now, this is not a significant news item. I don't want to say per se. It's my least favorite thing. But it was just a really interesting thing because they're all in the same building. So maybe they were doing like, we guessed that, or was it postulated? I don't think so. That the roof had like rain damage. But they did. We were like, oh, are they going to fix Peter Pan with the racism? No, which whatever. It is what it is. At least no Peter Pan and Wendy updates to it. But eventually they all reopened. Everything was fine. And, it was just an interesting little closure of the year. Live action Ariel appeared at Disneyland. I forgot that movie came out this year. Did not see it. Got no problem with it, except stop making live action remakes that no one cares about. But I think people really like meeting her. And it is, it is cool to get, I'm going to call them like characters of color, for kids to see themselves in a movie. So there is at least that. That is nice. We did also get Mantis from Guardians Volume 3 and, the other Guardians too. But Mantis was able to dance with the Guardians of the Galaxy at their little dance party. So that was fun for people. Questionable makeup, but it's okay. Dance party's fun. We got a little weird news of the late operation of Pixar Pier attractions. They were testing out like leaving a Incredicoaster going at night. I think it had to do with like World of Color 1 or World of Color being gone. I don't know. I don't actually know the status of that. If the rides still stay open, I think they might. But that was interesting. We did get the Walt Disney World announcement that their reservation system will be updated where I think like weekdays after 2 p.m., but not Magic Kingdom or something weird, pass holders can just go after 2 p.m. And they scaled it back where I think this is all for 2024, so this starts in January. Ticketed guests do not need reservations at all. And the bonus days went away, but they got good to go days where there's just simply no reservations, I'm pretty sure. So that is pretty cool and hopefully a sign of things to come for us. We're really hoping we get a modification to our reservation system. We did get one, but that was just that we can modify the reservations without canceling them. So you can move it to another day in hopes that like you don't want to cancel and then the other day you wanted suddenly disappears and then you have no reservation. So now you're able to just move it, which is cool. And I think you could change the park, which is important for some people. This was still before 11:59 the day before. But hey, any news with the reservation system is welcome for us. We also got news that the Walt Disney Company canceled plans to move Imagineering to Florida. This was very good news for the cast members that they don't want to move. Who wants to move to Florida? Nobody. And, it was probably due to the whole government stuff going on over there. Florida is very hostile to Disney and no one wanted to do it. And they were spending tons of money and they're like, you know what? We'll just stay in California for now. And they did lose talent, which is not good. In May, the month of our war, Star Wars, Galactic Star Cruiser's closure was announced, which was bonkers. They spent all that money, $6,000 for a family, and they announced that in late September, the Galactic Star Cruiser would close forever. Probably selling some parts out of there in property control, but not over here. But yeah, that is dead and gone. R.I.P. Galactic Star Cruiser. It did not have the high ground. It was, in fact, on the ground, not in space. But it's gone. That was that was weird because some people were like, oh, we loved it so much. Like, how could they get rid of it? It was an experience. It wasn't a hotel. Those are all the people who got it for free. I understand kids loved it, but like only if you had 6K. How many times are you going to do that? I can't say I was like, right, like this is a terrible idea. It was just like, I think it was like a Chapek thing, I guess. I don't know. It was a miscalculation. We'll call it that. The Steamboat Willie water feature was announced for the villas at the Disneyland Hotel, the new building. This was just cool to us because, I mean, maybe it has to do with them with the copyright and the trademark, but it was a cool little World of Color thing, a little vibe they were putting in the Disneyland Hotel. We weren't really sure about this building and when it was going to open and what it really was till we got it, but it was cool to see, you know, Disney caring about animation. I know they do, but it was just cool little news for us. Now, Soarin' got a single rider line in May, but I need to check if that's present currently because I just don't remember this at all. Let's see, small drops, whatever. I'm not entirely sure. And I'm not going to check the app because it's just me here and there's no one to talk. But yeah, this was announced in May, which was definitely interesting. Okay. Next up, Pixar Place Hotel Art release. We just crapped on this Pixar Place. Not the best hotel on property. Not even close. Cost tons of money to stay there, like $700 per night. And it's just, again, one of those things. Pixar's a studio, not a theme. We like to pretend it is a theme. You can kind of say it is, but a Toy Story is a theme. Cars is a theme. Nemo, A Bug's Life. Those are themes. Those are properties. But Pixar it's just a studio. So, yeah. And then we got the National Churro Day foodie guide. Now, I'm not saying all the foodie guides on the show, but this one I think we lost it. We were like, come on. National Churro Day foodie guide. Get out of here. We are over the flavored churros. So moving on to June, there was a pre-show to World of Color called Elemental Connection. I forgot about this. I forgot about this as soon as I read the news, for sure. It was for World of Color 1, which I still haven't really seen. Oh, well, I guess it eventually did well, Elemental, but we really did not care at the time. But in June, there was also the Oogie Boogie Bash ticket craziness. They sold out so quickly. And some people did not get tickets. Even like they sat in the queue, pre-sale, regular sale, and were not able to go. And we were wondering, like, would they add more nights next year? Looks like they are. And I guess we can talk about that later. Yeah, let's see. That might have been December. Okay. We also got news that the Adventures by Disney private jet adventure around the world thingy would be returning in 2024. We did a whole episode on this about how I do not want to go to Egypt and how this is just like the most ridiculous tour ever. And you guys need to check that out if you haven't. The itinerary is bonkers. It's like over 100K or something, right, for the whole thing. But I guess it did well because, of course, it did. Because we're Disney adults, and the ones that have money will just spend it. So it's returning in 2024. We did also get the first glimpse at the robotic baby Groot, which was it was a free roaming baby Groot. First, he had like the cord on him and would walk around, and then like they actually had him on stage without the cord, just like interacting with kids and with the Guardians. So I think it's really cool, especially like, you know, seeing what's going to come from Imagineering and their like crazy animatronics robotics division. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that stuff in the parks. It seems like they are getting closer to actually doing it. We had all these promises in the past, but they're really pushing. So that is great to see. Another thing you'll see is a partnership with Apple Vision Pro. Apple announced their like $3,500 headset. They refused to call it a virtual reality, augmented reality set, but Disney said they'll be participating in that. Let's get a parks walkthrough. Let's do it available with your Magic Key and Disney Plus subscription. I'm not gonna buy that headset. I know, like, it's just not gonna happen. I don't want it. Do not buy it for me, and don't buy it for yourself. You don't need it. Live in the real world. Play in ours. That's an old PlayStation ad. Okay. We did also get halfway to the holidays, which I wasn't super mad about because I got that rum chata slush, which was rum chata nog slush. Loved it. A little sad. I didn't really drink that much eggnog this season. Oh, man. That's over, isn't it? But love that. It was a nice little touch of Christmas for 3 days. Still kind of silly, but I don't know. I guess that made it worth it. We also got some announcements at Downtown Disney. Like currently, the alley was announced and eventually opened, which was just an extension of Splitsville. We got Beignets Expressed, which is just straight up beignets and like Coke freestyle at Jazz Kitchen. They need mobile order. And we got Clyde's Hot Chicken, which we got excited about. Turns out just chicken skewers. So who cares? We also got the Mr. Toad popcorn bucket, which I only put on here because it was a really nice popcorn bucket. Like, we hate our plastic here, but it was basically just a model of the Mr. Toad car. So I was kind of down for that. I never bought it, of course, because I don't want it that much, but yeah. Okay. Next up, you can meet Dr. Indiana Jones in Adventureland. This was a first, apparently, for Disneyland. People were super into it. I like this kind of news. Disney, leaning into their meet and greets, which is awesome, especially for the young ones and the old ones. That's fine. But yeah, just cool to see him there. I mean, a lot better than those Avengers Campus meet and greets, that's for sure. We also, speaking of, we got Nick Fury in Avengers Campus. Nick Fury of Secret Invasion fame. Yes, because Secret Invasion, something we all loved so much. Yeah, that was just silly. Secret Invasion. Let me know if you cared about Secret Invasion. Adrian actually said it was good, but I don't know, man. I don't think I'll ever watch it. Just gonna be honest. So let's be free of this and move to the month of freedom, July. We got news of Tiana's new look. She's gonna be sporting a new look that has something to do with the new ride, and I don't think it's not always like she'll still be in her princess outfit up on the palace, but it is cool to see like alternative outfits for characters, especially for those into the meet and greets. In July, we also stopped reporting on ride closures. It's pretty soon after this is Trammin news, which is the most important news of all. We added the quick service segment of the show, which is just like, we're just going to blast through some news items, let you know what's closed. We don't need to create some fun headlines for you guys. And yeah, I think it's been good. Not sure if this next thing has been good. Bob Iger had his contract extended through 2026 when he was like, I'm just going to be here for 2 years and then I am out. And now it's like, yeah, that we don't have a succession plan. I'm going to be here a while. And people are like, they're going to sell to Apple. And I'm like, not the parks. I don't know. How do I feel about Bob Iger? I don't feel anything about Bob Iger anymore. He's just a man. He's just a CEO. Everyone's messing up the content game. Everyone is in the find out stage. And, it is what it is. Hopefully things get better with the parks and with the studios and all that. But just don't hold your breath for anything. These corporations only care about money, not you. And that was true in the 1800s. Why do I say that? I started Walden Life in the Woods, which my mom tells me is a lie, because Henry David Thoreau had his mom do his laundry while he was out in the woods, and he was lived 20 minutes from his house. But it still stands. You're not friends with corporations. You just give them money and get things. I don't know why I'm ranting. We're gonna move on to the Jambalaya Band appearing on the Rivers of America. Shout out to River. This was cool. We needed alternative entertainment to Fantasmic while they were figuring that out. And I saw it once. It was a cheerful little thing, and they've expanded it since. So it was cool to see them, trying to keep people entertained. And in July, we got the Disney had to issue something about resale on Oogie Boogie Bash, and hey, resold tickets, one, might not work, and two, people might sell them and then scan them anyway, and then you're going to get screwed out of a ticket. So do not buy resale. And you know what? It's good if they crack down, because if you crack down enough, scalpers might go away eventually. And finally, in July, we got the Magic Key lawsuit settled, and we still don't have our money. So in August, we got the news that Fantasmic will remain on hiatus until spring 2024. And we will talk about Fantasmic later on. But we got the announcement that in September, Carnation Cafe, Riverbell Terrace, and Cafe Orleans will get alcohol. And we did have Stephen F., I believe, try something there. He's trying to try every IPA on the resort. Was that it? And yeah, Rain and I have still not had alcohol at these establishments, but I heard one of the mules is good at Cafe Orleans. Let us know. Do you think it's just eventually going to happen? Just the whole park. They're just forget it. We're going to do it. I'm not so sure. But we also got the new Steakhouse 55, definitely dead. They got rid of the sign, and we got news that the lounge is coming. It is now open in its second iteration. It's pretty nice in there now. Drinks are very good. Good bar. It's not in the app, and I kind of hope it's never in the app. I think it's just for the hotel people to kind of have in for hotel guests, to enjoy and not have it be crowded by us. But it is also kind of empty in there, so I don't know. They might do something about it. Okay. Princess Week made us angry. We had our terrible foodie guide with her in there and you can buy teapots. And we're okay, that's not a foodie guide, but it is what it is. It must be working for them. We got news that Space Mountain would be closed right before Halloween. And we're here it is. Here it comes. Nope. We got ghosted. No Ghost Galaxy. They did eventually update Space Mountain. They did not fix the lights. They did add some cool stuff. But yeah. I just give us Ghost Galaxy back. You're forcing hyperspace for over a month. Give me Ghost Galaxy. Speaking of the Galaxy, Galaxy's Edge got Ahsoka. I'm not an Ahsoka guy, but many people are, so that is cool. They're really all right, people can appear in Galaxy's Edge now. I think they're gonna finally do that in Florida because the Star Cruiser's gone. So we'll see what happens next year. Even if I don't even know if we will see, if we'll see the news. If Scott Gustin reports it, we'll let you know. But I think that You know what? Another like biggest news of the year. We got the announcement that the Haunted Mansion queue will be expanded into like a garden and all that kind of stuff and a shop. So it's closing like January 21st or something. And it's just going to be closed for the majority of the year. We don't know if we're actually even going to get Haunted Mansion back or if they're just going straight to Nightmare Before Christmas. Did Rain say something about like it's permanent somewhere else? Like France or something? I don't know. Remind me. But yeah, it's pretty cool that they're kind of filling in the space that is taken up by the queue anyway, making it more maybe interactive, more immersive, that's for sure. And I don't know if they can actually oh, right. I think they are adding like an ADA thing. So maybe it'll be more efficient in getting people in, but they can't really add more people to the ride. So yeah, it would be cool if you can like merge into the Omni Mover and like have vehicles come out. So then like you don't have to stop the ride every time someone needs to get on and off, but that's not going to happen. That's just me dreaming. Okay. And then Disney pretended to care about plant-based items because they did like top 5 plant-based items. And then like there are just fewer and fewer plant-based items. So don't think we didn't notice. They were like, every restaurant's going to have plant-based, right? And then who knows what's happened since then. Like, did Impossible not come through? I don't know. But Disney, do better. Did we do that episode? I don't know. I don't think we did, but it's on the list. That's for sure. So in September, Tiana's Palace did open, which was very exciting for some people. Mobile order was like gone at 8 a.m. I want that muffaletta for sure. Like I said, Rain loved Tiana's. Everyone loves Tiana's, except for that cold beignet. I think in September we got the Haunted Mansion red carpet, which, you know, there was the strike, so Maleficent was on the red carpet, but you know, it's still cool to see that out there, to be honest. I did not go to the influencer event. I was not promoting for Disney, blah blah blah, but I did take pictures there because listen, man, there's a red carpet in Disneyland. I've never been on a red carpet. So in Galaxy's Edge, once again, Hera Syndulla appeared. She's from Rebels and I guess Ahsoka. I think her character actually looked better than Ahsoka's meet and greet character. Chopper was there too, the little droid, and it was fun for people to meet them. I have not seen any characters at Galaxy's Edge. I haven't seen Mando. I haven't seen Boba Fett. Haven't seen any of these two either. So we got the Heartbeat of New Orleans, a living mural. So they expanded the Rivers of America entertainment because, of course, Fantasmic is still gone. So, you know, cool to see them doing more. And yeah, it's going to go away pretty soon. So go check that out if you can. In September, you would think they opened the Adventureland Treehouse, but no, we got another announcement that it will be coming in the fall. So they just barely made that deadline eventually. But I mean, hey, at least they were constantly working on it throughout the year. Very, very slowly. And they also kept working on the Avengers Vault, which finally opened in September. Bigger than I thought it was going to be honest. I think it's a good store. They closed the Superstore, so like we said, maybe the Avatar experience is going in stage 17. But good store, good layout, good like presentation, I would say. And we're not getting that ride for a while over there, so I think they did a good job, honestly. And I like the way the concrete looks inside and the theming. So honestly, go check that store out. It's maybe one of the cooler things in Avengers Campus, to be honest, which is kind of sad. we also had that free Magic Band deal, which I just put in here because I thought it was hilarious that the Magic Key Magic Bands were so ugly that they gave them out for free, and they couldn't even give them all out for free. They just eventually ended it, and they sold them for $17 on Shop Disney. I got it with a Kingdom Hearts pin I bought. Also ugly Kingdom Hearts pin, but I had to buy it because of how ugly it was. And Toontown kept closing things because things were sinking or the kids were getting the grass too wet or something. But, to be fair, they were doing construction in that crazy rain earlier in the year. So they did have to, kind of fix that stuff up. In October, the first good Avengers Campus meet and greet, Loki and OB. Thought that was really cool. I did. Loki looks less like Loki every time they get a new one. No offense, guy, but it just is what it is. OB was awesome. I barely met him. We just kind of like said hi or waved at him, but super cool to see him. Great outfit. Love that. We also got an announcement of a kids ticket offer that's starting in January. It's I think one park per day, 3 days, $150. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. It's $50 a day. And again, these ticket offers, you don't have to go 3 days in a row. So you can kind of get your kids a little mini pass because they're going to get tired of it anyway, probably. We also got the announcement that the Eastern Gateway parking structure project is being revived. There's still hope of a DCA mini expansion out into the bus stop on Harbor because they're going to put a whole bridge and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, we're going to get more parking and more rumors swirl of the third park. And what's that shopping center called? Garden Walk going away. So stay tuned. We might actually get it. Magic Happens was paused until 2024 because of the holidays. There was no... People were freaking out. I'm like, guys, they just gotta... Halloween's coming. They're doing the holiday stuff. The Christmas Fantasy Parade. You can't... What are you going to do? You can't run it at the same time. That was all. We got our little droids in training, little BD droids. I think that was like 1 day. Galaxy's Edge. They had droids walking around. They weren't free roaming. Like, they were freestanding, but they had remote controls. But they were cute. They were all kind of synced up and looking at people. And it was just... They're just actual droids now. I mean, I know they're not sentient or they don't decide anything for themselves, but... They just built the things. Like, it's not imaginary anymore, which is pretty crazy, honestly. Next, Downtown Disney got Parkside Market announced, which was right now 4 eateries, but at like a food hall style thing that they're putting next to the stage that has finally opened as well. They just kind of got permits right now. We're getting like Korean food and soul food, like that kind of soul, and then I think actual just like American soul food. So that's cool. Earl Sandwich might go there. Din Tai Fung's opening up next year. Porto's still no movement, but they're still doing it. So cool. And then nice name, Parkside Market. It's next is to the side of the parks. There you go. Also to the side of the parks, we got Great Maple details, which actually ended up being a great maple. Not mid-maple. We were so ready. Rain actually came around to it. Not a breakfast spot. Just too much for breakfast. But Great Maple is great. Even greater. Something I'll probably never experience. We had the announcement of a Haunted Mansion bar on Disney Cruise. I think it's on the new one, Treasure. It's not out yet. But had some cool looking drinks, cool looking bar. Better than that Star Wars bar, to be honest. But yeah, cool to see them putting park stuff outside the parks, focusing on the parks. I think that's what we always say is important. But in sillier news, they put a medallion machine in the Magic Key Terrace, which we have been kind of cooling off on lately. We haven't been there in a while. It's got to be more restaurant like. We need some better foods, not just bar foods like that don't get you full and just charge you lots of money. So not quite there yet, but yeah, they did put the little machine. There you go. Okay. We also got some Run Disney Halloween announcements. Run Disney is kind of coming back here, selling out real quick. So if you're into that, stay tuned to that news. I'm sure there's like accounts that follow that stuff, and we'll update you on news faster than we can. We also got news that Tale of the Lion King will have its last show on January 7th. I still haven't seen it. I don't know if I'm going to make it. It's not for any reason except that it's just always at the wrong time for me. So I heard it's great. The food's great over there. It's made people cry. I don't know if I'll be able to see it before it's gone, but go ahead, everyone. January 7th, last show. We also got the opening of Palm Breeze and its details. That was the one foodie guy that was nice. We did end up visiting once. The drink's pretty good. Food's pretty decent. I would say it's like the lounge food. It's the same kitchen, Steakhouse 55 kitchen. But nice little bar that you can access at the Villas at Disneyland Hotel pool. You just have to enter the building because they basically the gate to the pool is closed from the general walkways. But if you head into the hotel and look to your right, there's like one gate through the breeze blocks that stays open, so you can go eat at Palm Breeze. I recommend it. Bartenders are cool. Some of the bartenders are from Trader Sam's too, so like they know what they're doing. They're chill people, fun to talk to, and all that. I recommend the G&T. It's a gin and tonic. So in November, we got the Ridiculous Tote Saga. They had that Festival of Holidays tote that had a 3-hour line. Nice looking tote, be honest, but I'm not waiting in that line. Sorry. Adventureland Treehouse finally opened. There was actually a line for a few days. I think I would recommend it at night. I saw it during the day. It is very cute, but there's still too many people there, which, I mean, hey, at least it's attracting people there, but it's hard to like enjoy everything when there's just a line of people behind you, and it's kind of narrow up there. So Disney's Wish movie came out, right? I think it came out. And that's saying something. Asha appeared at the Royal Theater. I saw her there once. A little meet and greet. Royal Theater, honestly, don't skip. Nice little thing. The Beanstalk was being installed in Toontown in November. That's from Mickey and the Beanstalk. It kind of grows through the ceiling and through the roof. You can see that. That's cool. The news gets smaller as the year goes on. We got an announcement of the Earl of Sandwich pop-up, which I haven't seen it, but at this point, the new stage has opened at Downtown Disney. The old stage has been removed. They're putting in probably a no substitutions sandwich shop at the end of Downtown Disney. They're transforming Downtown Disney very slowly. They don't want to close the whole thing. I understand. So you'll just be hearing news throughout the year about that. So a while back, we thought Cedar Fair and Six Flags were the same. They were not. But then we got news that they did merge. So there you go. Shout out to John H., who sent that in to us. At Avengers Campus, the meet and greets got less marvelous. You can now meet the Marvels. I think that's probably already done. Marvel's terrible grossing movie, I think. And I think we're just burnt out. It just came out of nowhere, just like Ant-Man. We're like, they got to chill out on Marvel. It's too much again. And I don't actually have anything against Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel. I actually like that show. I think it's just like there was no hype around this. And apparently What If, which is back, and Kimmy really likes that show, is the most watched Marvel thing this year, more than Loki. And Loki was spectacular. Highly recommend that, but it is what it is. In November, the Port of San Francisco I don't even announce when this was opened. I'll have to stay on top of that next year and put like blah, blah, blah open so it can make it into the final episode of the year. But the marquee was installed and then it was broken and then they fixed it and now it like does little animations or something. But I think the port is officially complete. Yeah. The little market's open. Baymax is there. Yeah. I like Port of San Francisco. It's just very, very busy. And they fixed the bridge. Just like they fixed Goofy's How to Play Yard in Toontown. It did get some updates. They added more interactive elements. I think they're just figuring out what breaks and what's going to last and what's not. So they'll figure out what to keep, what to change. And, I'm not like mad about the Toontown thing. They're figuring it out. I know they should have it figured out, but I think it's more interactive than anything has been and more accessible than anything has ever been. So, Disneyland's a very busy place. And as much as I don't want to give them the benefit of the doubt for things, this is one of those things that I'm like okay with. Not entirely okay with RIP Beasts Library. The Imagination Campus is going to take its spot that was in Launch Bay, which has the DVC thing upstairs. I guess it makes sense that they're doing educational stuff in here, but they're just really slowly taking the Animation Academy building away from us. We lost the Zoetrope. We lost Ursula's Grotto. Now we lost Beast Library. We have Anna and Elsa in there, but who cares? What's next? What is next? I shouldn't have said that because they will take something else away from us. We got a Wish water short for World of Color that goes on before World of Color begins. Rain saw it, said it should not be there. It's just kind of lame. And I agree, even though I have not seen it. So just stop trying to make Wish happen. I think it just flop and move on. We got an announcement that Astro Orbiter was closing. Kimmy was on the episode, and we were like, oh my God, they're going to move it. They're going to do this. They're doing this finally. Winter 2024. No, that meant like before March. So they're just kind of fixing it. I don't have high hopes for anything there. Okay. In December, I just put this one headline. Yoke Jumpers. We got breakfast at Smoke Jumpers. I've heard it's pretty good. There's like a burrito, a sandwich, some coffee, but they just put Cocoa Puffs. They're supposed to put Cocoa Pebbles. Don't know what's going on, but I guess this is why they killed the Craftsman Bar breakfast. But Smoke Jumpers Grill has breakfast now. They're pushing the breakfast items, which is neat. We did get like the Marvel style event calendar for 2024. We're getting Pride Night, Disney Channel Night, Star Wars Night, Sweethearts Night. What's the other one? No, those are all the nights. Halloween extended into summer. More Oogie Boogie Bash dates, which I don't think they said, but that's happening. We got Pixar Fest coming back, Star Wars Month. So yeah, there's lots of stuff coming next year. They even said this is the first time we've announced all the events ahead of time, but I guess this is the way you do it these days. Everyone just wants to get hyped. So maybe we'll do another hype I don't know. We did history of hype. Maybe we'll talk about hype once again. We also got an announcement of the SoCal ticket offer, another weekday ticket offer for adults, because they do have the kids one. So you can kind of, I think it's like $70 a day if you do the 1 day, one park per day, or 3 days, one park per day. So that's back. You can get a discounted ticket along with your kids' discounted tickets and go head to Disneyland during the off season. So we did finally get news that when Fantasmic returns, there's going to be a new scene with Mickey and Maleficent, but Pirates of the Caribbean is gone and Peter Pan is back. And Rain wasn't sure about this because he loves the Pirates score, but we all know the Peter Pan scene is much better, right? So we're pretty excited about this. I I'm excited about Phantasma coming back just because it's going to eat those crowds up. The crowds are just crazy. And we do need the nighttime show back. So, this was big news for some people, and it was honestly pretty funny to me. Disney buys the H2O Plus formulas from whatever company made them before. So they were like discontinuing the hotel soaps and whatnot, which I don't think I've ever experienced. But Disney got the formulas. They're going to keep making them. People are super hyped about that. So good for you guys. Congratulations. We also got the announcement of Asteria Story Living, which is like the Disney community, along with Cotino that was announced a while ago. This is like the weird planned community where everyone lives Disney for their entire lives. I personally don't care. I'm not going to buy one of those houses, but it's happening. This is North Carolina. So shout out to Scott Gustin and Gamers Nexus. Didn't expect that one, did you? And the two final pieces of news. I mean, the final pieces of news were at the top in the news section. But the Waffle Cristo is now a breakfast item at Royal Street Veranda. And the Roo Pass is available at the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. So, I mean, what better way to end the year than good news about a Monte Cristo made with a waffle and being able to go on Winnie the Pooh and on an even shorter line. This is just like the buddy pass. You and a friend can go fill in the final row. And this was the final row of the news of the year. So let's talk about how we felt this year. So I'll start with Rain. Rain wrote in and he said, "Hi there, Tram fam. It's sick rain again. Who knows why I keep getting sick? Anyways, I had some of the most fun I've ever had this year at Disneyland, but this comes with a big asterisk. I think I mentioned this last year also, but the best experience I've had have all been paid experiences. From the World of Color dessert party to all the amazing food I had at probably every sit-down restaurant on property. The food, I get. I understand. But I feel like I don't even want to bother with the shows and experiences where I can purchase upgrades unless I purchase it." Rain, I don't know what you said here. Food I get, but I feel like I don't even want to bother with the shows. Experiences where I can purchase an upgrade unless I purchase it. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what this means. It's too late. But he says, I probably shouldn't have purchased the Rogers upgrade, but I would have gotten major FOMO if I didn't. I feel like this is remnants of the Chapek era. Anyways, can't wait for Trammin 200 and Trammin in 2024. P.S. I just got engaged. Rain. So, couple things. Yes, everything's a paid experience now. Got to pay to play. And that sucks. I haven't done the World of Color dessert party. I hear it's like worth it for World of Color, but it's like expensive and the dessert kind of sucks. Yeah, the sit down's pretty good food, honestly. As far as the Rogers thing, I didn't even see it. So I can't blame you for doing that experience. You got good seats, memorable experience. Will they bring it back? Maybe. But yeah, I never got to see it. But and I never got there early enough to buy that thing. But glad you had a good year, man. And yeah, I mean, the biggest news of all, Rain is a fiancé with one E because that's for men. And then the two E's is for the woman. And yeah, I mean, congratulations, Rain. I thought we'd save that for when he's here, but I think he's just you all know, he posted on Instagram. So yeah, Rain and Brandy are engaged. Congratulations to them. Happy for them. And we've come a long way with Trammin. I mean, just think of who we were at the beginning and where we're at now in our lives and our homes and our relationships. in our co-hosting and our podcasting abilities, I guess. So yeah, really big year for Rain, and for us, I think too. So in terms of how I feel about Disneyland this year, I keep saying it's been busy, but it's been like exceptionally busy, hard to enjoy. Not that I don't enjoy it anymore, just that you have to really find your little pockets of magic and little pockets of fun in short bursts, and go in with no expectations almost, so you can just find the things that are fun. I don't think Disney is making like bad decisions with like creatively or anything. I think the future's bright for Disneyland and the parks in general, and what they want to do, and all the new things, new foods, new rides, new shows. I just think they got to reel this in. And Kevin asked me, like, I think I said it here, but what do you think would happen if they got rid of reservations? And this was first introduced to me by Matthew Serrano. I think there would be fewer people at Disneyland if they finally got rid of the reservations, because there's no spontaneity anymore. If you make a res, you have to go. All those people would just decide not to go after work. And then, yes, a whole new group of people would say, I'm just going to go. But you would just pop in. It wouldn't be as big of a deal, and I think there would be fewer people. So I think they're testing that with Walt Disney World. We always say there's hope. Yeah. So, we'll continue to go to Disneyland. We'll continue to enjoy it. We'll continue to find some magic and some fun. And I'm hoping for a good 2024. But the world is in a strange place right now, but that's okay. We've been through worse, I'm sure. And it was a good holiday season, that's for sure. I had a good Christmas with family and Kimmy and all that. And I'm just got my fingers crossed that 2024 has some good news, some new fun things to do, some good vibes, right? And yeah, we're gonna plan out the year for Trammin, see where we take it, and see what fun things we could do. And yeah, Trammin 200 gonna be fun. Trammin 199 is gonna be fun. We got a little surprise for you guys, and even in February, we're working on a big old thing too. 198, first episode of the year. I don't know what it's gonna be yet, honestly. It's got a few ideas. Either way, we're going to try to have the most fun we possibly can have here in the Trammin studio, and have some fun guests, have some, just some classics, the Kirk and Rain show, as it always is. But yeah, thank you, all of you out there, for joining us this year. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for listening. And thanks for writing in. If you're afraid to write in, you've never written in, make that your 2024 New Year's resolution. Write in to Trammin. If you say it's your first time writing in, I'm not going to make fun of you. I mean, I don't generally make fun of people who write in. The people I make fun of, I've probably talked to them in the DMs and in Discord. So we got a rapport. So don't worry. And look, I'll say it here. Some people, if they write in with bad grammar, I just fix it. I don't tease them about it. If I'm teasing, again, it's because Rain wrote something, or just messing with Reyes, because we've known people since high school, that kind of stuff. So some people write in their previous friends, but if you're a new person, right, we don't have a rapport or relationship. I'm not going to mess with you, right? I'm going to be really happy that you wrote in. You could join the Tram fam, join the Discord, and just join the lore of Trammin. Maybe you'll make it on the lore page, trammin.com/lore, which is always just a few months behind in being updated. But yeah, make that your resolution. Write into Trammin, tell your friends about Trammin, and let's continue building this community. And hey, maybe we'll see you at Disney Adults Night or at the parks. Always come say hi. get a sticker. If you have 0 stickers, DM us at Trammin Podcast on Instagram or trammin.com/ask and say, I have no stickers. I'll send you one for free. That's for sure. But yeah, been a good year. Trammin. Been a year of odd news at Disneyland and Disney parks at large. But always hoping for things to be better. And that is our final Big Thunder topic of the week of 2023. So if this is your final stop, thanks for tramming with us this year. And if not, it's time for We Have It So Good, which I did out of tune. No one wrote in because I don't think anyone's been at the parks. We've been blocked out. So I just want to say that I had a really nice Christmas with my family, with my cousins, Christmas Eve, as we always do, and, my parents and immediate family too. And Christmas Day, actually had my family over. My dad cooked, and we just opened silly gifts. It was, in fact, the Nordstrom Rack fashion show instead of TJ Maxx. Got some nice clothes and some silly gifts and some chocolates and all that, and just had a good time, sitting around as a family and just being goofy. As we, I don't know that sometimes I start a sentence and I don't know where it's going, but I hope I find it along the way. But yeah, it was a good Christmas. It all came together in the end, and really got into the Christmas spirit. Shout out to everyone who subscribed to Kirkmas and Lo-Fi Kirkmas. I wish there was a way to remove those from Spotify until the next year, like off the suggested, because Spotify doesn't know what Christmas is and when it ends. But it is what it is. And what it is
pizza time.
It's time for one last bite. So, as always, I will tell you about the best thing I ate this week. On Christmas Day, my dad said, I'm going to cook. I'm going to bring everything. And he's always talking about making a hash. Not necessarily corned beef hash, just a hash. So he made a hash in a skillet with potatoes, bacon, sausage, maybe some meat. I don't know if other meat made it in there, but it was good. And cracked a bunch of eggs on top. I think 10 eggs for 5 of us. Put some English muffins in the toaster with the Kirkland salted butter, and there's a nice crispy skin on that hash from the cast iron skillet. And it was just absolutely delicious, super filling. Great job, Dad. He's a great cook. He knows that, but he did a great job, and we had a nice time eating that. So, yeah, best thing I tasted this week. So I do not have one last fight because it's just me here. So all I'll say is it's a good year of food, and I hope to, focus on the basics next year in terms of food. So with that, thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for a wonderful year, and we will see you next year. Bye.